There are 3 areas of your training that we should look at: the gym, what you do inside the gym, and what you do outside of the gym. This first video will just be about the gym itself. What you'll be seeing are some clips from my friend's podcast, Dreams Not Fame. If you want to check out any of his stuff, the links will be in the description down below. We talk about a systems-based approach to instruction. It should be focused on one aspect of your sport at a time. And that goes for everything, right? If there's defined skills that you need to have in something, it could be videography, right? There's a bunch of skills that you can list out and say, I'm going to get good at them at one piece at a time. The number one thing is to have a systems-based approach to learning. What do I mean by that? What is a system? A system is just a series of techniques that go together in a cohesive manner that help you get towards your end goal, which is usually submitting your opponent. Systematic instruction allows us to dive deeper into topics, gather a better understanding of the techniques we're using and how those principles apply to make those techniques work. Here's the definitive thing: if your instructor isn't learning from John DANAHER, they fucking suck. Although I was trolling in that clip a little bit, you should be looking for an instructor who's seeking to learn themselves. If they're not, you got to find somewhere else to go. Even if somebody has 30 years of experience, if they think they're done learning, you got to go somewhere else. I don't imagine, though, that anybody who has over 10 years of experience thinks that they've learned all of jiu-jitsu. It'd be clear after a few years that this is a train that never stops. But then again, if you are going to learn, why not learn from the best? Another key to class structure is that your gym should be pushing you to work in the positions that you're learning. If they're not, that's perfectly fine. There is something to be said for making sure people have fun. Most people are going to enjoy starting on the feet or starting in open guard. But my personal belief is if you're going to push people to learn, say you're learning mount, for example, you're learning mount escapes, you should put all of those people in mount at least starting off. My classes, I push people to be in mount the entire time. They'll do a few rounds where they start in mount, and as soon as they escape, they go right back in. It's what we call situational sparring. After a few rounds are over that, probably about 3 to 5, then we'll start from that same position in mount, but we'll go into submission. The key here is that the environment should be pushing you towards learning and towards getting as many reps as possible. And if your gym isn't doing that, it doesn't mean that it's a bad gym. That doesn't mean that the structure of the class isn't going to help you learn quickly. It just comes down to what you want, and that's why we'll have a part 2 to this video, what you should do in the gym. Social alignment, like people, there's a lot of culty gyms out there. I think if the most experienced people are healthy, they should be rolling. I don't think that it should be a big issue for you to ask upper belts to roll at all. What are you guarding, right? A lot of places have that.
I've never understood that rule.
It's an ego thing.
That mentality, I've seen it less now, but I remember when I first got in, that was a very big thing.
Let people do exactly what they want to do. At the end of the day, even if they're competitors, they're paying for a service.
Yeah.
And some people get a service confused with a church, and it's not a church.
And don't get me started on the church. But
proper social alignment. Now, there's a lot of culty gyms out there. It's human nature that eventually, once you get a lot of people together, there's going to be drama. And at the end of this, we're in a sport for fighting, right? There's going to be egos involved. All masters want to be seen as above the rest. So it's sad to say, but there's a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms, a lot of gyms in general, that have leaders with a lot of ego. And that's okay to an extent, but it shouldn't hurt the other people who are training there. What you'll see now is a post from my friend Matt at Epic Roll. He made a really good post about culty gym behavior, and I'll just leave some of them up there. Take those rules into heart. If you are seeing those things, you should probably either have a discussion with your instructor if you're an upper belt, or leave, because there's plenty of places out there that won't have this behavior. And if you don't have this behavior at your gym, you shouldn't take offense to that post. Lastly, a deep room. Now, not everyone's going to be able to have a deep room, have a lot of technical people in their gym, but if you can find it, stick with that. That'll help you learn the best. The more years of training that are in the gym, the better for you.